What's going on? My name is Ernie Halter. This request goes out to Bonnie. This might be the greatest request that I've ever gotten, ever. And I love this song, and as a heterosexual male, I think it's perfectly normal that I bust this one out for you. Bonnie, here you go. Sitting in the movie show, thinking nasty thoughts. Better be a gentleman, oh, you turn me on. Nasty, nasty boys don't mean a thing. Ooh, nasty boys don't mean a thing. Nasty, nasty boys don't have to change. Yeah, nasty boys don't ever change. I don't like no nasty girl. I don't like nasty food. The only nasty thing I like is nasty food. Nasty, nasty boys don't mean a thing. Ooh, yeah, nasty boys don't mean a thing. Nasty, nasty boys don't mean a thing. Ooh, nasty boys don't ever change. I ain't approved. I just want some respect. So close the door if you want me to respond. Prophecy is my middle name. My last name is controlled. No, my first name ain't baby. It's Ernie, Mr. Halter. If you're nasty, nasty boys don't mean a thing. Oh, you nasty boys don't mean a thing. Nasty boys don't ever change. Yeah, you nasty boys don't ever change. Nasty boys don't mean a thing. Oh, you nasty boys don't mean a thing.
Mm-hmm. In the words of Ernie and Miss Janet Jackson, nasty boys never change, and neither do dusty boys. Okay. Y'all, thank you for coming. I felt sorry for her at first. I have to admit. I'm like, oh, Derek Jackson doing her wrong. Oh, okay. Po thing. Po little tink tink. Then they went live on my ass. What? Then they went live on me. She is now a volunteer. There are no victims in this situation. I'm defending her, trying to make sure nobody's talking about her looks. And now it's even tempting to me. But I'm not going to go there. What I am going to say is dress for the occasion. Pretty girl. But dress for the occasion, please. You co-signed this shit now, Danae. You and your man are narcissists, so I know you're going to Google your name. And you're going to be here because you have a unique name. Now, anything that happens from here on out, I'm going to be looking dead at you. You, mammy. Yeah, you mule. That's what I'm going to be looking at. You was a victim the other day. Today, not so motherfucking much. You sat your ass there and let him use you like a prop in a Broadway show to make sure he don't look bad. There was nothing that you can do, actually, because he already looked bad. Even before we knew that he was a nasty boy that don't ever change, Miss Jackson, Uh, we're gonna tell you to go have several fucking seats when you start complaining about him again. And I saw that she mentioned God 50 fucking times in that first video. Listen, God don't have nothing to do with this. I'm not a huge believer, but don't invoke nobody else. Derek and his dick did all the dirty work. All of it. And you're his co-signer. You're his co-defendant. And if you don't want to have to defend your goddamn self, I suggest y'all take all that shit down and go sit down somewhere. Danae, when you go to court, did you dress like that when you filed for divorce? Do you go everywhere like that? If you was going to be a mammy, be a good one. Represent. You didn't represent. I was hoping you blinked 3 times fast so we can come rescue you, but you doing that shit on purpose, ain't you? Don't be Danae. We can only feel sorry for you the first time. When the second time happens, you know what? I'm waiting for the baby to come out. The baby that you don't know about, because every day you find about new bitches. When the baby come out, let's see how hard your staying power is then. I'm interested to see. Welcome to the panel, everyone. I ain't gonna be up here long. I just had, when I saw that fucking bonnet and I saw her sitting there looking like a
Divested, honestly, I'm so glad I'm on the panel because I listen to you from London every time and you are my spirit animal. Honestly, you're doing the Lord's work out here.
Well, thank you very much. Y'all, I felt sorry for her at first. I'm like, damn, his big buff black ass out here doing that girl wrong. And then I saw her
tonight, cleared it all up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I don't feel nothing for her.
Nothing.
She in her mammy bonnet, ready to mammy.
Yep.
Ready to take away all the accountability. That woman stayed on that live and basically apologized for her getting up and leaving this man because he's a nasty naker, doing naker things. And the man just sat there after he's put in all the manipulation in the around the back. And the reason this woman's doing this is because of the desperation that's amongst Black women. This woman doesn't think she can do any better. She doesn't think that she can pack up all them kids and find anything better. So
she's depressed, y'all. That's a depressed person. When people are depressed, they don't take care of themselves.
She doesn't care.
She didn't give a fuck what she looked like on that camera because she is manically depressed at this point, in my opinion.
Yep.
I completely agree. Do you know what? It's so nice to hear another Black Brick because hey girl.
Listen, like, we are out here. Me and all my friends don't know with these makers.
Like divested zealot, like you're literally banding us all together. Like we're literally coming in here looking for content because we don't have that where we are. So it's like we're like running to you, DZ. So
get with me and my friends. We talk about these dusty nakers all the time with our white partners. Okay.
A lot of us get ran off. A lot of us get ran off by mammies. The mammies have ran off some really good content creators over the past decade. They have ran off some good ass people, but I'd like to see them try it here. I've never ever hid my link. I've always put it in the chat room, and not one of those dusty bitches came up here. So it is what it is.
This is it. And you know what? What got me about that freaking video was the desperation. He was giving me anxiety from watching that. My friend literally just tagged me in that 10 minutes ago. I just got done watching it, and then the notification came from you, DZ, and I was like, let me jump on that. Can you imagine? Like, he was so in a state of panic because he's like, I'm going to lose all of my support and all of my money, and he was holding her hand. It just felt so disingenuous.
She looked like she was being held hostage. For those of y'all, for y'all that don't know, for those that don't know who we're talking about, because I keep seeing who in the chat room, is a big buff naker that plays a simp for money. So he gets in his car away from his wife so she can't be on camera, because you see what happened when she get on camera. He gets in his car, tell you all the shit you want to hear, sell you a fucking book, and he has a whole lot of followers.
Exactly.
And it's nothing but a mammy cartel over there.
Did you not
I
see
literally
when she when he went upstairs for the baby, then kind of all of a sudden it came out with the cheating and the this and the that. Like when he left, she was kind of able to say a little bit more.
Yeah. I cut it off. I'm gonna just keep it real. I cut that shit off. I couldn't take no more.
I didn't watch the whole thing either. I couldn't. Just by seeing her face, I already knew what time it was. Like, none of this surprised me at all because I happened upon her page, and when I see all them Bible scriptures, I'm like, that should already let y'all know she's not going anywhere. She's gonna blame the woman, and I'm like, you know, he spot her ass a mile away, and he no shade. Now I'm saying she's an ugly woman. She's a very beautiful woman, but like you said, you could tell there's some stuff that she needs to work on the inside. Like, I don't know if she stopped taking care of herself, but to see the type of man he is or pretend to be and what he preaches about, and for her to show up on a live that she knows basically everyone is going to be interested in seeing. And I was even shocked. I was just like, my goodness, like, you could have spruced up yourself a little bit, at least wear a white shirt. She literally looked like she was ready for a funeral. I don't know. And it's sad because I knew he was going to pop. I just never liked that guy. Like, being big and buff and basically whispering sweet nothings basically does nothing for me. And the reason why he's actually successful is Black women are so fucking desperate to hear nice things. They don't ever care where it comes from, which is the big issue. That's why Black men, they don't have to do anything. Just whisper a couple nice compliments, and that's that. You
Agree 100%. Healing
And
arts.
it's not like they don't. Oh.
I know you finna rip his ass
This is
on.
where I think mammies need to start listening to positive affirmations. They need to go under full-fledged hypnosis at this point, because what they want is suggestive verbalization, and it is a way around it other than Tyrone. Tyrone will say anything. You know, it is sickening. You know, I am so disgusted. I have had enough of all of this.
Yeah, me too. They're blaming a lot of the portion of the mammy cartel are blaming her for what she didn't do. Now, it was not her fault at that point, but at this point, post live, it's her fault because she's sitting there voluntarily.
And she's blaming herself. She's blaming herself now. She's internalized the manipulation and she's now speaking it to us. We've not heard from this woman in all of the time this man has been preaching. Then suddenly now we're going to hear more from them, and the book is being sold. And this is a story about the changing of the mind, but it didn't come out until the woman exposed you. So what's
the book?
He was hiding her. He literally.
What book is it, y'all? I'm kind of lost on that. What book?
So they have a book.
It's
It's basically something to do with their journey to discover. I mean, these people have been married for 4 years.
Go to his funky ass channel. He promotes the shit out of that book. If you go to his channel, you're gonna see that book. You can't miss it.
It's right there. You can't miss it.
It's called Nakers Will Be Nakers, and they'll be nakering.
Isn't it the typical Black love story? Like, yeah, we got married and I drag her through the mud, but then she's gonna sit next to me and say we both forgive each other. We struggled, you know, but not even we. I cheated, but she accepted me. So, you know, this is Black love. You know, you can't just be happy. You have to be dragged through the mud and damn near be embarrassed. And the ending, the happiness, that's what we're working towards.
So it's like,
and you have to promote the abuse of children.
It's like, that's what I was gonna say. It's like another promotion for abuse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
I remember I stopped messing with him years ago because there was this scandal with Erykah Badu where she said, and I used to follow him back in my retarded days, where Erykah Badu said, schoolgirls should wear skirts down to their ankles so that the male teachers wouldn't get tempted. I was like, if male teachers can't control, if any teacher, if they can't control themselves around underage children, they should not be allowed within 50 feet of a school, much less teaching there. So that woke me up a little But once I heard him defend that, I was all the way done with him, with Erica. And you know what? When it comes to, that's the thing about the bonnet. It's not as if they don't understand respectability politics. And for the longest time, I rebelled against, wearing more respectable clothes because a lot of people use it as a defense against sexual assault, and that really turned me off. You can say you don't like the clothes, they're inappropriate, they make people uncomfortable. The minute you say they turn someone into a rapist, I am so done with you.
Oh,
So
fat.
So done.
are the mammies saying that they wearing bonnets to keep from getting raped?
No, they're basically doing what mammies do, taking up for Derek Jackson because she isn't doing what she's supposed to do. She don't even help him with his program. He built that business all by. I saw one of them bitches call him a high value man.
Oh God,
So
no.
sorry.
Let me tell you something. If you want to cheat in peace, find a woman in the church. But anyways, I'm gonna hop off and let other people come on. I love you, DC, as always, and I'll be in the chat.
Love you too, babe.
The bar is in absolute hell. All these nakers have to do is come online and speak basic sense, string together basic sentences, and it's applause, claps all over because the bar is so low amongst it within the Black community. This man, he's come out and he's not who he was preaching to be, what have you. The Naked Squad, they're all happy about this because it's like, look, yay, oh my gosh, this person that was bashing Black men just by talking sense and saying that Black women deserve this or deserve to be treated a certain type of way. They're happy about that. The mammies are literally sacrificing themselves all over the place to be this man's lawyer or whatever, defending him all over the place, and it's all a mess. It's like, what the hell is this dysfunction?
Welcome to the panel, Miss Queen.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah, we're all right. I know I'm good. I'm not Miss Jackson. That's for damn sure.
I actually thought that this guy, I didn't know he was real. I used to see him on my Facebook timeline in the car, and I thought he was homeless. And I thought it was parody. I'm being so serious. I thought he was homeless because, like, why are you always in your car?
Because he didn't want to show her.
Make sense. And then I'm like, why? I genuinely didn't realize he was like legit. I thought he was like a joke, especially when they talked about Erykah Badu. I swear on you, I thought he was a joke. And now this stuff happens, and before her live came out, I saw her social media presence. I was like, oh, she's a Bible thumper. She ain't going nowhere. She's about to get hypertension and die of a heart attack, and she's gonna say that God willed it.
I can see that. Welcome to the panel, Ms. Atkins Barr. Who didn't get a chance to speak? Just jump right in there, because you know how we do. We tear it up.
You know what? I just want to add that when I look at the situation that his wife is in right now, it kind of looks like a situation that a lot of women end up in, where they get with a guy who she's not his preference. That's
No.
She's not his preference. And from
He did a whole video, girl. He did a whole video about if he don't like your natural beauty, then he's not worth it. He cheating on her with bitches with tons of makeup, tons of enhancements, tons of weave.
Yeah.
It's full of shit.
Nothing like her. And for me, I feel like she's done this thing where it's like, oh, well, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm religious. He claims to be religious. And you know that whole thing of where they guilt trip you into sticking with a man because you've married him now. Fuck that shit. It doesn't
right
matter
against the wall, no Vaseline. I mean, fuck it with no lube. I'm not with that shit.
No lube, no Vaseline. Fuck that shit with the Vaseline that is sitting at the bottom of your handbag with all kinds
Can
of
y'all
shit
hear me?
covered in it and
yes.
barely any Vaseline left. That's
okay, I'll let her finish, then I'll put in my little 2 cents.
Sorry, you go ahead.
No, you're fine. I just wanted to make sure I could hear me. I love what you said. I just want to say, as a Christian, I respect people. I can see why people don't believe anymore, because it's so many fakes and phonies out here, and it just makes me so upset. But yeah, a lot of Christians are very passive and just go dumb stupid with it. I don't know. Yeah, if it was me, I would have left. But I understand, he has this money, and if they divorce, his business is over. So he's gonna do what he has to do to keep her around. And at first, I was like, "Go ahead and leave, go ahead and leave." But I understand why she's trying to work it out, and he is. I'm not accusing it, but I'm just like, I don't know.
I was
Maybe she
sympathetic
can explain,
towards
like
her
older women can explain
initially.
it, but
Like
the words
I
aren't
was
forming together
sorry, babe.
in my head.
Yeah,
But
no,
if
I
you can
get you
explain it,
because I was sympathetic towards her initially, just like DZ said. Everybody had sympathy towards her before, but now this shit where you're sitting there next to him, holding his hand while he's panicking in a state of shock because his fan base is about to divorce him. But what he doesn't realize is that he appeals to a bunch of mammies anyway. You see where the black men don't have intelligence? His whole fan base was about everything he says is freaking common knowledge. But because these mammies get so stigmatized by the muscles and oh, it's a black man, it's a black man that's saying it, they literally fall into that trap. And it's bullshit. Like it's
His
bullshit.
fan
We've
base ain't
literally
going
seen
nowhere. She'll be replaced with the next Stepford wife.
this is it.
Oh, this is
Lipstick
going to
Alley
make
been
him
talking
even
about
more
him for
popular.
years.
This is going to make him even more popular. I mean, the redemption song that he is singing on this live, this is exactly what the church, this to me is a perfect example. Sorry to anyone out there who is, religious and Christian. This to me is a
We deserve to
example
be,
of the scam.
held accountable. If something's wrong, you call it out. If somebody like, oh, you can't criticize the church, no. If they're doing something wrong, you should say something about it. And I can
This
agree
to
with you.
me was a perfect example of the scamming that we see all the time. This, I feel like this level of manipulation he has learned from the church. This is the way this man was spinning the scripture and PR spinning all of this to be a redemption scenario, instead of just you've cheated on your wife, you've been exposed, everybody's seen it, just apologize, put your tail between your legs and run off and piss off. Yeah. He's turned this into now I'm selling more books, and he's going to have an even bigger fan base. Look and watch, because a lot of black women are stupid.
So I think that I'll say this and I'll jump off the next person to come in, but I definitely think his fan base will be increased, because if he's going to appeal to Christians, the biggest sin that King David had was adultery. And his first book talked about Jackson. His first book talked about a cheater's heart. So all he's going to do is go back and say, as a Christian, I want God to forgive me the way he forgave King David, a fucking adulterer, and I want to try to do better. And then people are going to eat that shit up. Everybody in the black church is going to eat it up, from your child molesting pastors to the gay deacons to the mammy ushers.
Yes.
They're all going
Yes.
to eat it up.
And
They're
all
all
the
going to eat it up.
and all the men who want all of their discretions to be forgiven too, and all the women who are shamed for staying, who they feel ashamed inside. If there's anything this black community loves more than a faithful man that they know is very seldom in Blackistan, they love a man who will come out and say, look, God has changed me from my cheating nasty boy ways. And he's gonna win off that.
If his wife had any sense, now this is just gonna be some dark-sided shit, she would snatch all of his followers, leave him, and then advertise, basically, I'm gonna
Yep.
tell you the real him. Snatch
Yep.
all his shit. And on your way through the divorce court, act like a goddamn damsel in distress and take half of that other shit too.
Because that's what probably a Becky would do. If he was married to a religious Becky, and that happened to him, Becky, her whole family, everybody would do that to him. But unfortunately, she's going to be guilt tripped, even though I definitely don't feel sorry for her after that live. But
Yeah, I'm done.
she's going to be guilt tripped by her family. She probably was guilt tripped into even doing that in the first place. But everything that happens now subsequently is going to be, she's going to be guilt tripped into being a part of the facade. Basically, I'm sure he said to her, well, if I lose my fan base, how am I gonna pay the bills? If you divorce me, who's gonna you're not working, I'm the one that's bringing in the money at the end of the day. How are we gonna look after I think they have 2 kids, right? How are the kids gonna live? How are you gonna live? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? They intimidate them.
And that's problematic in itself. He didn't reference, how am I going to lose my fucking family, my fucking wife, and my fucking children? How am I going to lose the medium that I use to validate myself and my self-worth? How am I going to lose? You you are the reason why I cheated, and you are going to cause me to lose the only source of validation that I have because I'm an insecure fucking piece of shit. That's fucking problematic.
It's
But
sick.
Very,
Well,
very.
here's how it works, in my opinion, in Blackistan. And I love comic books. There's a series or this movie called Flashpoint, wherein Wonder Woman fights Aquaman's wife for him and kills her. And I watched it and I thought it was so funny. I was like, well, Wonder Woman doesn't understand why his wife was mad at her, that she lives on an island full of only women. If a man washes up, we all share him. Why are you mad at me sharing the boyfriend? And that's the situation in Blackistan. Why are you mad that we sharing the boyfriend? You know we share dudes. Like, why are you acting like this is new? Just get with the program. That's pretty much what it is.
How is Derek Jackson any different than Nature Boy? How? I mean, they
no
both
difference.
preaching. They both think they got the knowledge. They both try to pawn it off on black women. They both have multiple women that stay amongst abuse. I don't see the difference. One
The
buff
thing
and one got herpes. That's it.
and HIV.
Yep.
Apparently.
Why you acting brand
I
new?
feel like
You know what
Nature
it
Boy
is.
tells the truth. Nature Boy
Divested
actually
zealot.
comes out and talks about being a polygamist. Like, he talks his shit right on the screen, whereas Derek pretends the whole time. So that's the only difference I can see. But yeah, you're right, DZ. They're the same person.
Did you guys catch that the wife admitted that she would be in the comments trolling him under his videos?
No, I didn't see that. I couldn't stay. I didn't
So-
catch the majority of it.
So basically she was saying that yeah, I used to see the things that he was saying, and she didn't agree with the things that he was saying. So you guys were saying, oh, he's always in his car. My guy was always in his car because he couldn't be in the house talking all that yin yang that he knows that he's not doing in his household. He said he's in the car talking this yin yang. The wife is saying she was in the comments trolling with everybody else going, yeah, no, nothing's like that. Da, da, da. She literally was saying that. And then this guy had the nerve to come out and say that the cheating wasn't a problem in their relationship. Really, it was that he was smoking, getting high, and drinking alcohol. I'm just like, what?
He a fucking thug. That's why. Welcome to the panel, Lovey X. Yes, he's a goddamn Pookie and Ray Ray.
Man, they're all Pookies after all.
Right, exactly.
Spiritual Pookie.
Lovey X, welcome to the panel, hun.
hello, how you doing? How you doing?
Awesome sauce. What you got to add?
I mean, personally, I actually just left a comment about it. I just, I don't know. I just think it looks really bad for her in a lot of ways. Mostly just in the sense that, like, the chance that she did have to, like, really show, like, how beautiful and worthy she is, like, really, like, take that wife trophy and run with it. Like, the way that she showed herself, it's like, I see why he cheated on you. Is almost how I feel like a lot of people are looking at it. And I don't think that it's really looking good for her. She looks even stupider than she did before she came out. And Derek, I don't think he cares at all. This is more shameless promotion for him.
Facts.
Like, the way he sees it. Like, he was literally promoting his book in his explanation video as to why he cheated on his wife.
Absolutely.
If that doesn't show how much he doesn't value the relationship, like, I don't know what does.
Mm.
He was lying
Lord
the whole
have mercy.
time too. Like, it didn't even add up. Like, anybody with a brain could have saw. Like,
Doing
just
way
say
too
you
much
cheated,
over
sir.
talking.
Yeah.
Too much over
And
talking.
he was like, "Oh, the girl named Candace. It was a sexual relationship, but we didn't have sex." I was
without
like,
the
what?
sex.
He could have
Did y'all
said they were
see-
talking sexually, but no, he said it was a sexual relationship, but we didn't have sex. I'm like, nigga, that don't even make no sense. Just
That
say
sounds
Usually
like
how I
dipping in
look
the
at it
diet
is
cake.
like they were like he had her in the friend zone, obviously he was flirting with her to some degree, but like I feel like the way it was, they were friends, she was friend zoned, she finally got out the friend zone for the 2 seconds that him and his wife weren't talking, and then when she got pushed back into it, she was like, oh, what the fuck? Hold
No,
on,
they both
no, you
lying.
just eat my pussy, like we
Which
not
is what they
friends.
always do. That's what they always do when they get pushed back into that zone. They get I think what these mistresses have as an issue is being reminded that they're a mistress, because I think for a lot of them,
Yeah.
they forget it. Like, I have friends who have brought me around their mistresses more than they've brought me around their wives. And I'm like,
Damn.
yeah, like literally, like men who, and of course black, who feel like it's okay for them to do that as long as, and I'm thinking to myself, I know your wife though.
They just hope
Why
that
are
you are loyal enough to them that you won't go tell her.
Do you know what it is? I'm loyal enough to myself to mind my business, because
No,
I
for
know
real, that is
how
not my
women
relationship.
operate. I'm loyal to myself, and I don't want that headache because I know how women operate. I can go and tell your wife, oh my gosh, he brought his girlfriend or mistress around, and then she will still stay, and then I will end up having to deal with a massive headache because
Or
of
end
their
up not
marriage.
even being friends with her anymore because you told her.
You'll be public enemy number one.
Trust me, I've even had it with immediate family members. I'm not gonna deal with it with with anyone. So I'm like, you know what? Live and let live. They'll
Yep.
find out on their own a lot of the time. I found out the very hard way about letting women find out on their own. I used to have this imaginative image in my mind that, oh, if I tell someone, they're gonna really be grateful and they're gonna like praise me. Oh my gosh.
They're gonna think you want him.
They're gonna
Honestly.
think
Yep.
you want him.
I have never once a single time told any of my friends that their boyfriends were doing sneaky stuff just because it's like, that is not my place, girl. You gonna mess around, be mad at me. Oh, how did you find out that he was doing da-da-da-da-da? Like, that means you've been known, you know? Then they start thinking all sorts of things, and it's like, whoa.
Exactly. Now you're the bad guy.
Yes, like, girl, it's your man who's cheating, not me.
But I feel like that's women with the kind of like, you know, desperation complex, you know, like the mammies, really, the mules and the mammies. I don't know, man. I don't think that's all women. I think it's women with no self-esteem. And that unfortunately is the majority of
well,
women.
Danae is definitely a mule right now because she's muling in a way where she's trying to make sure he doesn't lose his business and gonna put it up under the guise of taking care of her kids. But she can take that shit and go over and make money with the same story and X him out of it while taking half of his shit. Try that on for size, sis.
Girl, they don't realize that. They think that they can't do anything once their man is included in the picture, and it makes no sense. It's like, you're still an individual. It's like some of these women completely lose their like their self as a human and see themselves just as like wife, just as mother.
Because
you know?
they're unicorn.
No, but then that's their fault.
Unicorn
That's
to these
a
women.
woman has to internalize that image in her mind that being a wife. Listen, being a wife is number one. It's not a personality trait. It's not something that everybody cannot obtain. So you looking at other people to be like, oh, this person has da 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 da. It doesn't change what the actual image is overall. It doesn't change that. So I feel like a lot of the time, women, they internalize these kind of things and they make it seem as if it's something that is just so grandiose and so great. And then
I'm married. My husband.
This is it. My husband. These times they're absolutely unhappy. The husband is not providing. They have nothing to show for the actual marriage, and they're miserable.
Yep.
So this Dusty has a job, you know, and he has some money. So he's a unicorn. You know, he's cheating on her, treating her like trash. But listen, she doesn't believe that she can go out on the street and find anything better than this. And, you know, we were saying before that, you know, this is a beautiful girl, but let's be honest here. This is like Churchiana, okay?
Yes.
And he picked her on purpose. And he knows that the self-esteem is set up in a certain kind of way that this woman isn't going to get up and leave. He's been cheating on her for 12 years. The woman admitted that.
I didn't even know that they had been together that long. When I saw that, I'm 12 years.
I didn't know he was married. Never heard of this person before in my life.
Does anybody know how old she is?
Is she older than him?
She's known him
They've
since
been
she was
together since college.
19. She said they've been together since 19 and they've been together for 12 years. So what's that?
Oh my gosh.
What's that adding up to?
Early
They're like
30s,
what, 30
late
something
20s?
now? So like almost 15 years by the sounds of it.
Yeah,
oh
her
my
ass been
gosh,
going
lady, almost 2 decades with this hooligan. This is not the first time he's done this.
Yeah.
He's just famous doing it now.
Them shackles are rusted on.
Oh my gosh.
J-Lo, what did K. Michelle say?
Handcuffs on her.
What did K. Michelle say? Put it in the chat, Jayla Earth. Go ahead, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm always
Yeah, I
interrupting the
stopped
goddamn
listening to
thing.
him a long time ago because Lipstick Alley been talking about him, and I don't even go up there. I was like, "Ooh, Lipstick Alley, let me go see what they talk about," because I had just ran across it on the internet one day, and it's a whole section on him. They say a lot of stuff, but the cheating stuff, I'm like, I probably shouldn't be listening to this man. But
Well, the
other
way
women, they gonna do whatever.
truthfully, I stopped listening to him because I felt like after a minute, it was like I couldn't tell if he was like being condescending or if he just talks like that because he thinks somebody's slow. Like, but that's the vibes I was getting. I'm like, he's talking real slow and real
His
simple. Like, I
wife is
can't
He's
slow.
understand
pandering.
him.
His
He's
wife
And
is
then
the
on
pandering.
slow
top of
one.
it, the tone, like you're making me feel stupid. Like I know your video is supposed to be like, oh, I'm uplifting black women. This is how a man's supposed to treat a woman. But the
No,
way he
you
says
know
it,
what?
I'm like,
It's
I feel
pandering.
like you're patronizing me. I
He's
really do.
pandering.
Nope. You
He's
want to know when I
pandering.
truly stopped listening to him, y'all? He got these videos, right? And he basically says, of course she comes in here with all this loud music. But hold on, y'all can continue talking.
Hold on.
So
I don't listen. I
are
don't listen
people
to
trolling her?
With all that music.
I don't listen to Derek because there is nothing that a naked could tell me about anything to do with nothing. I don't date them. I don't want nothing to do with them. So a naked with logic, with a bit of logic, a sprinkle of sense, doesn't change what the hell's going on around here.
So
Exactly.
They
Mammy,
don't have knowledge.
that's
They
the
have an
good one.
analogy.
I think the problem with Derek is that his whole thing was to pander, and for some and a lot of
Yeah,
the
he's
things
a
that he
good one. He's the
say,
good one. That's the best you're gonna get.
yeah, that's what it is. He wanted to be the unicorn. He wanted to pander, and I think a lot of women fell for it because he was giving very good advice. If you didn't know that advice, you would good night. You would fall right into it. But if you
Well,
knew,
this is the best we're going. This
you
is the
knew
best
the
black women
stuff,
are
you
gonna
won't
get.
fall for it.
This is the best black women are gonna get. A little man speaking a bit of logic sometime, but really in the background he was getting high, getting drunk, cheating on his wife. He's a manipulator, narcissist.
And
He's
now they know it.
This is the best. This is
They
your
know.
unicorn, black
This
women.
is the best we
This is
can
your
do,
Y'all hear
guys.
me now?
This is your unicorn. He still
Yeah,
will
we
turn
can
around
hear
and
you.
do the same thing that Dusty's
Okay.
gonna do.
This is
But
your
back to what I was saying.
Go ahead,
The
hon.
video that made me stop watching him is he has a video about black men dating out, and he was like, just because you date a white woman doesn't mean you're not pro black. You can be pro black and still date out. And I was like, nope, nope, nope. But this was my pro black days. I was like, nope, nope, that ain't right. I'm not
You
watching it no
definitely
more.
can be pro-black and not exclusively date black people, though. I had to learn that stuff, though. I used to think the same way, though, that like, oh, if I'm pro-black, like, like I have an Asian girlfriend, like, does that make me look bad? And I had to realize, like, who I date has literally nothing to do with what I stand for.
I ain't pro-black. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm not pro-black because
Same.
to be pro-black, you have to be pro-black male because that's all it's
Okay,
about.
but I guess I'd be
protecting
pro-black
them.
woman.
I don't know about what I'm pro black woman. If is it
Yeah.
about
This is
if
it.
it ain't,
Yeah. I'm pro black
don't
women
involve me. I'm not interested in
and
it.
girls.
No, I can't fuck with the men. Damn that. They expect you to.
Most black men are only pro black men.
Period.
Yeah.
Majority of those
And
that
most
say
black
they're
women.
pro-black,
That was the
they're
biggest
black.
reason why I never went to any of those Black Lives Matter protests. I'm like, if it was me who had been murdered in my own house, would my face be on one of these signs? And I pretty much was like, no. So I'm gonna stay in the house.
So you done protesting now, right?
Oh,
You
I
done
haven't protested at all. I haven't
Okay.
protested
All
at
right,
all.
y'all. I'm
The
gonna go ahead
entire
and go and
time.
let somebody else come on. I'll see y'all later. I love you, Divest and Zealot.
Bye.
I love you too,
Bye.
babe.
Girl. But yeah, like I feel like you kind of have to be pro black women because if you make the mistake of being pro black overall, you're gonna slowly basically provide support for another group, which is the men, because they're all pro black men. Because how many pro black men are with white women, have procreated with white women? It doesn't make sense. That's why for me, if I say I'm pro black, it means I have to now start limiting who I date, and I'm not willing to do that. Why the hell would
Yeah,
I do
at
that? Why
all.
would I limit myself to date black men? What the hell? Am I stupid? Like,
And I don't give out love that's not reciprocated. That's just not the way
exactly.
I don't self abuse in that way. So for me, half of the women, if not more, in the black community are predominantly pro black male. Then you've got
Mhm.
men who are pro-black male. So you really only have a small section that are focused on being pro-black female. And I'm not interested. Listen, I'm not interested in any fight that has to do predominantly with black men. Let them fight for themselves. They've been coddled enough. They are up under Becky's skirt. While you're under there, ask her to set your people free, okay?
Period. Okay, go talk to your white governor about raising the minimum wage. Okay, go talk to all of them. You deal with it. And personally, I feel like black men should be fighting their own fight. I don't understand why it's our job to be standing in front of police officers and making a stand and making all these speeches. Like, I'm not the one getting killed like that. So, like, I'm not the one being thrown in jail at excessive rates. So I shouldn't have to talk about this.
If you're lining up for Jordans, if you're on Twitter making football trend, listen, you can go out there and you can handle your business, okay?
Exactly.
Welcome to the panel, Yelling and Popping.
Thank you.
You got something to add, babe?
Yeah, I've never really listened to him because I've been pro Black women and pro interracial dating my whole life.
Me too.
But from what I have heard of him, I'm not surprised that he cheated on his beautiful Black wife, because I feel
disappointed but not surprised.
When they get a voice, especially on social media, they act brand new. You know, of course, he's exposed to all these women that he's lying to about dating advice and things like that. And he's cheating. Of course, men with more options are going to cheat. So nobody's surprised. But I mean, it is what it is. I don't see why Black women take advice from him anyway. He talks in his car from what I've seen. And that's all I know.
They want one of him. That's why they want his advice. They want one of him.
True. They're stuck on Black men. So, of course.
Yeah,
they want him. They want to share him.
Ugh.
They actually want to be a sister wife.
If there was a Black woman, Derek Jackson shade that had a scandal like this going on, it would be all over the fucking internet. It's only certain people talking about Derek Jackson.
Sorry, guys.
Burn her at the stake. That's what it would be.
Right. So I'm not fucking with him, and at this point, I'm not fucking with her either. Okay? And if you're listening, Danae, hopefully you're fooling all of us and you getting ready to get this nigga back. You gonna leave him for
this is a whole troll situation. Like, I hope that this was all done to promote his book, because it would be a damn.
I hope that you're gonna be leaving him for a white man next week.
Yes, so he can do more videos.
Me and my mom were listening to this, and to be fair, at one point I did say to her, I wonder if she just said to him, listen, what we're going to do is we're going to get on this live here, and we're going to sell the shit out of this book. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the receipts that I've got on you. Yeah. And what you're going to do is sell these books and put that money directly in my pockets. And then we won't hear anything else of this. And I'll be moving on with my life. But I just know that is not what Black women do. The chances are this woman has chosen this life over dignity and loneliness. Yeah, a small period of loneliness before she'd find a man who would take her on and would treat her better, but she just doesn't believe she's worth that.
Yeah. And I think they have children together, small kids together too, if I'm not wrong.
They do.
Yeah, they do. They do have kids together.
But who's surprised?
Does anyone know how old their kids are?
No, I don't know how old their kids are. I really don't follow him. I really don't follow him like that.
So. That it's like a toddler. Like one of the kids is a toddler boy.
I know that there's a car seat, so I'm sure that there's obviously a young girl.
No, one's a young girl, if I'm not mistaken. Like one's a little girl.
Oh goodness, he's got a little girl.
I think
like
so.
They just follow the nigga handbook, so it's not surprising that he's
yikes.
They sell this all the time. Yeah. And I'm really surprised he's not married to a white woman though, because it's usually what they do. But I guess
a lot of people thought he was. I thought he was.
A white woman wouldn't deal with that shit, if we're being honest.
Oh, but they would. They do it all the time. Every week we get another episode of white women get the same men Black women get. Every week.
Cynthia G, I love her.
Every week we get another.
What I mean by
So no. Those white women are not white women that are wanted by white men. So they have lower self-esteem than most black women do, which I've come to realize. I'm one of those people. Like, I was never a hotep. I was never like, oh, pro black. I was never that person. Because for me, growing up, I come from a military background, and my dad is what you would call. My parents are what you call unicorns. I grew up in DC, upper middle class, all that great stuff. So for me,
Hey.
I was very rarely around like black men. You know, I was like, when I was around black men or black women and things of that nature, it was at school. And then the weekends I was going to like camps, and I'm an equestrian rider, so I ride horses, and I was I was swimming and all that stuff. So I never really got to immerse myself in like black like dustiness like ever. So I wasn't prone to that. And also for me, I was never attracted to black men like
What
that.
is there to be attracted to? Can somebody tell me? Did we figure this out?
Honestly, wait, I'll say this. I think a lot of black women are attracted to black men because they have this idea that other men don't want them. So they just are like, well, if other men don't want me, I'll just go with the men that should want me, but they don't want so that's confusing to
So
me.
let me ask y'all
Ever
this.
just
That's a lie because black
Hello?
men know other
Can y'all
men
hear
like
me?
them.
Can y'all hear me?
truly, yeah.
Okay.
That's my point.
Let me ask y'all this. How long are we going to let that be the excuse? Because we have so much information out here at this point. Now you have non-black men telling you that they want you.
Exactly.
So how long can we give them that excuse? I'm
But
just going to say,
I personally believe that there is no excuse for that, like at all, because like for years it's always been people saying that dumb stuff. Literally, one of my friends, like, we're not like, I don't talk to her like that
if you're
because
not talking, mute your mic for me, please.
but I don't talk to her like that because of her comments. So like, I have a white partner. I love him so much. He treats me amazing. I love him dearly. And he's fine as fuck too. Oh my god. And I was talking to her, and she was like, I could never have pink dick. And I was like, really? Did that really just come out your mouth? I was like, I couldn't even believe that she said that. I was like, that was like really racist. You do realize that? That was like really
Vesta
fucking
said
racist.
yesterday,
Like,
it comes in various shades of brown.
That's it.
what I find really interesting is that a lot of black women are so obsessed with this idea of being fetishized. Personally, I've never been fetishized by any white man. I don't date black men. I've only ever dated white men. I've never found that to be the case for me or any of my girlfriends. In fact, I feel fetishized by black men. And
you are. You definitely are.
And in the way that black women, I agree. And in the way that black women speak about their lack of interest for white men, and this common comment of, oh, pink peen, you're fetishizing these people. I mean, you're literally consumed by the color of someone's penis. Like, what the hell are you talking about? The one over there has more STDs. The one over there is everywhere and at all times, and you don't know where it is, and you just put it in your orifices and you don't care. But you're worried about the man over here because his penis matches his skin tone? What are you really talking about?
Welcome to the panel, MSB. MSB, you up, baby. I think she got cut off. Anyway, keep going. I'm sorry.
I think black women are just afraid. There is no excuse. Look, every black woman knows that they've been hit on by a white man before or a non-black man before. The whole question of, oh, they're not going to be attracted to me just because a black man threatened you that they weren't is a lie, because black women know when we look really good, these white men are checking for us. Even before I moved to Europe, I knew that white men liked us. So it's a lie. It's just an excuse. I think they're just very, very scared to hop over the fence. But, look, I'd rather be afraid and try it out with somebody else than end up dead or with an STD or knocked up or something like that by a nigga.
Yep. I agree.
They're brainwashed into thinking this kind of like their constant brain is on racism. So they think every white man is racist. Black men brainwash them into thinking that every white man is racist and fetishizes you. So they're kind of terrified by this constant state of being in a social justice warrior mode, that they don't even just like give it a chance and realize that it's not that white men are normally racist towards you. They don't like nakers. I mean, it makes sense. They don't like nakers.
They're conquered men.
That was,
No
like,
man
really
likes
sad,
conquered
though.
men. They think they're weak, and they are. So you're
They
gonna be
are.
treated accordingly.
But what's really sad is that Black women will say those things and then come back and say, but Black people can't be racist. And I'm just like, huh? Like you're going to fetishize a man based upon his skin tone and dehumanize a man based upon his skin tone and then say Black people cannot be racist. I'm confused. That doesn't make any sense to me, but okay. And then also on top of that, like I always ask, it's like, have you ever dated someone outside of your race and had a bad experience? And they're always say no. And my rebuttal is, so why don't you ever try it? And then it's like, well, because my family is going to say this, that, and the other, and I'm gonna feel this way, and this is gonna happen, and what if the family doesn't like me, and making all these excuses. And I'm just like, well, you do realize that white men, for the most part, they have like they're not connected with their family on that type level for the most part. Like
especially the ones who date out.
Yep, especially the ones
They
that
really
date
do
out.
not mess with their family like that because they know that they're racist. And I think a lot of like Black women assume that white men are as racist and like messed up as white women are, and they're really not. Like I feel like the white women are really like worse
White
with it.
women are
Like they
worse.
really treat their Black boyfriends like, ooh, woo, child.
White women are worse. You know, I was actually talking with my partner, and he was saying my boyfriend does not date white women, and he is a white man. He does not date white women, and he said it's because of their personality, how they treat their partners, the things that they say, the way that they move. He does not like it. He never has. He's only dated Black women and Latin women, and that was it. So he was like, I would never date a white woman. I've never find them attractive, any of that. And I was just like, wow. And then he was like, you wouldn't believe me if I told you that most white men want to date Black women, but they either one feel pressured into dating women of their same race because they come from a very racist background in general, or two, they don't feel like Black women like white men, so they're just like, I'm just not even going to try. And it's just like Black women don't think white men like them. White men don't think Black women like them because it just bullshit that's being spewed on both sides. It doesn't make any sense.
Black women are very vocal. Like Black women are the only race of women who feel the need to stand up and say, I don't want any other race
That
of
is
men.
facts.
Black
That is very true.
And it's cultural too. It's cultural because it's very westernized. Because here in Europe, look, Black women out here don't give a shit. They don't give a shit in the UK either. They date out happily. They don't care. And also, European men will walk up to you and they'll ask you out on a date in front of their mothers. They don't care. So my thing is, I think Americanized white men are just late. Look, America is a very young country, so everybody's still catching up. But to say that, I mean, not that you were saying that, but I'm just saying this idea that Black women have in the U.S. Is that, oh, white men don't like me. It's not true. Once you travel outside of the U.S., you'll see that these white men don't care at all. It's really just the culture.
Most white men actually like Black women more than they like white women, because when you think about like what Black women have and hold and bring, we bring way more than white women do.
Y'all passionate asses got to share the goddamn panel. Y'all passionate as fuck. Go ahead and jump in there, honey. You was asking, can you say something?
Oh yeah, in Europe, because like I understand that sometimes like Americans come to Europe and stuff like that, and you interact with people, and sometimes you get a sense, like you do get a sense. Like interracial dating over here is nowhere near as big of a deal as it is in America. But trust and believe that you still have the same type of mammies over here in the majority.
Oh yeah,
community.
Of course.
It's like divested women over here are a bigger number than in America, but trust and believe our mammies over here are just as ignorant, just as strong, just as influential. They say the same things. The thing about the pink peen, the da-da-da-da-da. Like, as I was saying before, Black women are the only race of women who feel the need to shout at the top of the roof that they don't want any other race of men. And Black men are the only race of men who feel the need to shout at the top of the hill that they want every other race of woman but the women that they've got. Those two things don't make for a good partnership. Those
Black people look like jackasses. They just look like jackasses. These people telling everybody that will give them their ear that they don't want you. And they act like they don't hear that. Bitch, they don't want you. Cut it out. You look stupid as hell doing that.
Very stupid.
Stockholm syndrome, mixed in with that black sperm make you do stupid shit.
Oh my God.
I had a friend of mine cry because I was talking about how I wanted to continue to expand like my dating pool. And I've always been open. Like the minute this girl met me, she knew that I've always been open to dating anyone. And when she just got played one too many times. And then now she was thinking about, and she works in an industry that is like very white male dominated industry. And she has access to like wealthy white men in her industry. And I'm like, you're an idiot. Like, why would you continue to date these men who have everything you've told me about the Black men you have dated has been nothing but negative? And you're going to sit here and cry because I'm telling you that you should continue to expand your options and use that and use your career as a pathway into getting a better person. I'm telling you, some of these mammies, they won't quit. Even when they're single mothers and they've been left, because she's one of them, left a single mother, the man has no interest in the kid, nothing, and they still won't wake up.
They don't want the well of Black female bodies to dry out for their brothers, their uncles, their dads, and their sons. They do not want you to walk away. They see what's happening to us. They see the way that we're treated. They don't want the sons to not have you as an option. I mean, if Goldman Sachs can see the potential in Black women in America, trust and believe that the mammies know your worth too. And they do not want you to. They see what their sons are doing.
It's all about a bunch of people who can't live up to any real potential, who want to keep everybody else back. That's how I see it. That's how I see it.
Misery loves company.
Black men as a whole aren't really forward thinkers. So when a mammy gets with them, they're not thinking of generational wealth or anything like that, which is why they just choose whatever, nacre is available. They're not forward thinkers. They're not thinking generationally. So when you're telling your friends, oh, what about these grads? What about these, eligible bachelors who are non-Black men? They're not thinking that forward. They're not thinking, hey, this guy could invest in me. This guy could, potentially get me out of working a 9-to-5. This guy could, we can have a good family together, generational wealth. They don't think that far ahead because it's never been available through Black men like that. Not as a whole, unless you have a unicorn as a father and a grandfather or something like that. So they're used to the scraps and they like being dirty. Some people just love being on the damn bottom and there's nothing that you can do to get them out of there. So
the hem of his garment said there are other races of men out there besides white men, and that right there makes them look even more stupid. It's not, nobody's trying to push you to date no white man. I don't give a fuck who you fuck, but you better leave them nacres alone or you're gonna run into some problems.
I've dated a white man, I've dated an Asian man, I've dated a Latino man, I've dated a man that was Native American, I've also dated a man that was French too. So, and yes, when I'm going to say white, I mean white Americanized. And then I've dated a guy that was French. So yes, there's plenty of men that are not Black and they are all great. I just, it doesn't make any sense. I'll say this.
This
I have a
is why
little story. I have a cute little
PQ
story
is
for you
myth.
guys. When I was younger, I was looking for like overall validation. I was like, oh, black men don't talk to me. They don't come up to me. They never like me. Is this something that I'm doing? Am I intimidating? Right. And I would say this. And it was mainly because I go to a HBCU and black schools, things like that. But I was never approached, and I really wasn't necessarily attracted to, but I was just like, well, I mean, everyone else coming up to me, black men don't like me. I'm confused, right?
Might be a blessing.
And then God was like, Jesus Christ was like, oh, I hear you complaining. I hear you complaining, and you do not know the trials and tribulations that all these Justinas go through.
Jesus been busy as hell this week, y'all. I haven't heard about
Women's Month,
Jesus.
okay?
I mean, I haven't
Jesus
heard about Jesus this many times since I was a little girl. Between this and Derek Jackson's wife, I mean, people talking about Jesus around here. What's going on?
Jesus said wife needed white Jesus. Can we find the white Jesus? Where's white Jesus?
White Jesus says, Danae, get your ass away from that goddamn black big
white Jesus
buff.
daddy. White Jesus daddy. Can you come up?
You know
I
the end of that was like, so Jesus said, okay, here you go. He gave me a black man, right? The first few weeks was great.
Shit.
It was awesome.
Jesus don't like you.
No, Jesus want to teach my ass a lesson. Jesus said, let me teach your ass a lesson. Jesus gave me a black man, right? And it wasn't even that he was black. He was light skinned. He came from a single mothered household, and he had not the greatest relationship with his daddy too. So he gave me one of them. He was pretty. He was light skinned. He had nice eyes and all that, right? Gave me him. And I lost my entire friend group. I lost the guy, and I was in a depression for like a year off of that. And I was like, yes, this is why God protected me from these men. And
let me ask you this. Jesus know that you saw other people going through the BS. Why Jesus had to make you go through it yourself?
Because sometimes you need to see it to believe it.
Oh shit!
But see, the niggas in the DMV, no matter if they're light, bright, or deep.
Oh, I'm not even in the DMV right now. I'm in Delaware for school. But you are absolutely right. I don't fuck with the niggas in the DMV anyway. I used to mess with the dude in the DMV, and I will attest.
Y'all better quit talking all at once. Y'all know y'all can't hear each other. I know I can't hear y'all. Who lives in the DMV?
I was raised there, but I'm in New York now.
Well, I can tell you this: even if you were on Pluto, a nigga gonna be a nigga. So I don't even, I don't even understand the regional conversation. To be honest with you, you British black women, y'all got the same problems we do over here with these niggas.
And David said, I am Jamaican too, and I've got siblings in America. And let me tell you, niggas gonna nick, and they nicking all day. Most of my friends are from Ghana, Nigeria. These nakers are everywhere doing the same naker shit. This is nothing new. And what I wish is, you got a lot of black women with low self-esteem sticking with these black men. And I think to myself, do you not understand that, like, this is much harder? If you were to, in the black community, a decent, educated black man with a job who loves a family and is family oriented is like a needle in a haystack. If you go over to the white community, that man is over there and he don't feel like he's nothing special because that's what's expected. And so you don't have to be worried about him feeling like he's special sauce, like Derek Jackson, feeling like he's the chosen one, because he's just a regular over there. He's a regular schmegular guy. And over here, you can't even find that. I wish they would just recognize. I
started to play Derek Jackson's video, a piece of it here, but he is such a pussy. I know he would flag me, so I just skipped it. That's the type of person that acts like a victim. He cheated on that girl, and now he's the victim. It was Jesus' fault. It was Tammy's fault. It was cosmetic chick fault. It was everybody's fault. but his that he
It was the
cheated on her.
bonnet's fault.
Right. So I didn't even play his video. I was scared to put the picture of his wife up. I'm like, fuck it. I'll just find a bonnet. They gonna know what I'm talking about.
You know what's crazy?
Bonetta.
I hear
Right.
a lot of black
Not
women
neither.
say, I want to get married. I want to get married. I want a 6-figure man. I want this, that, and the other. And yet they only date black men. And I'm just like, you want a 6-figure man and you're trying to get married and you dating black men.
Over here digging
What
in the
sense does that
garbage to
make?
try to find some gold.
There
What
are
sense
way more
does it
black
make any
men than
sense?
there are black men anyway. So how is that even going to work out?
Exactly. I don't, that doesn't make any sense to me. It's just like, if you want to get married, then, and like genuinely get married, like my partner was telling me, he was like, we're having kids and getting married by the time I'm 27 and he is 23. He's literally giving me enough time to graduate.
Black men don't get married until their dick don't work no more.
Mm-hmm.
When
Say
that
it
dick stop
again.
working, they want to get married. When they need Viagra, they want to get married. And then on top of that, that one day that he has an erection, he gonna fuck your cousin.
Wow.
So they are hot garbage. And then when they get that old, they want to marry a 23-year-old. Don't tie that girl's life down like that. I hate to see it. You don't
I
have the energy
agree.
level. You don't have the energy level to put up with that kind of stuff. And her hormones a little bit more hot than yours. She don't want to Netflix and watch documentaries with your dumb ass.
Am I the only one that thinks that is predatory? I really think that you should go like how, you know how like people say, oh, if an 18-year-old boy is trying to get with a 13-year-old girl, that is what's that word? Pedophilia.
Predatory.
I don't know why a 45-year-old man trying to date a 20-year-old woman is not pedophilia.
Yeah,
How is that that is a pedophile in my
It
opinion?
is predatory. Actually, I had an argument with my dad. Now, everybody's done said this before. I have a unicorn for a father, but he's not great at relationships. He is a naker. So he's working on a marriage number 3. And I'm his only child. And we were just talking the other day. And he, he is a provider. He spoils the crap out of me. He takes care of me. But that's not besides the point. He told me, my dad likes to argue with me because I guess my stepmom and my mother aren't around to give a fuck anymore. So he has to kind of like get it out with somebody, and I don't be wanting to hear it. I call him, hey, Dad, you going to send me some money? And that's all I want to hear. But this dude told me he's going to get remarried. And he's like, this time I want a young one. I said, what do you mean? He was like, I want me a PI too. I said, why? He was like, because I can train her. I said, what the fuck are you going to train her to do? Fried chicken? Like,
Right.
You're a man. What do you mean train her? Well, because once she listen to y'all black women, it's going to be over. I want somebody that I don't have to fight with. I said, so basically you're a predator. And I told my dad that you're a predator because you want someone young and dumb and full of cum so you can train her, and you don't want black women to be around her so they can give her game about you black men. Okay,
Exactly.
keep paying my rent, Daddy. Love you. Bye.
Yeah, that's what
Predatory
they
and
want.
pedophilia.
You have to
somebody
remember
that these older black men have actively came after and was confused by it ever since then.
You have
They
to remember
want-
when you're in your 20s, right? If you start dating a man that's in his 50s, in your 40s, you're going to be changing diapers and wiping nigga shit off of them. Just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, they want somebody that they can train. Like the biggest thing they keep on saying, oh, well, if she's willing to learn, nigga, learn what? You have a penis. What did you finna teach me?
Exactly. You're going to teach them how to cook or something? Like a woman who's married to you, pretty much her mother has already told her how to be a good wife. They don't have to worry about that. They just want to manipulate black women, so they can have some form of iota of control on this earth because they're conquered beings. And it is what it is.
Yeah, like my mom, she did teach me how to be a wife, but they don't want a wife, they want a servant. They want somebody that they can control and abuse. Like they literally, like there's a photo that was going around for so long and it pissed me off, of a naked black woman and a naked black man, and she was on the floor touching his feet. First of all, I hate feet, and I think people who like them are weird.
That's nasty.
That just gave me the creeps because, like I said, I hate feet.
That is nasty.
And people were all in the comment section, because black men want a husband. Here's the thing, right? I would never touch a man's feet because, like I said, I don't like it at all. It gives me creeps. But if
I don't mind a woman doing stuff for her husband. They want husband treatment without being husbands. Even the ones that don't date black women, they want husband treatment without being husbands. You got
Well,
to
we're
be a
willing to,
husband.
black women are willing to give it to them. So if somebody gave you $40 every time you seen them, and the next time you see them, you don't give it to them, you up for a fight. They've been giving it to them.
That's it.
That's
My
true.
mama is married to a black man, and she taught me better than that shit.
Mm.
She
Can
is
I say
married to a
something?
black man, and she do not play them games with me at all.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
hop in, babe.
Just because Chanelli says everyone's daddy is a unicorn, let me tell you something. My daddy is not a unicorn, okay? My daddy is a 3 trash bag carrying dusty.
My dad's a dusty unicorn.
He's got 8 kids by about 6 different women. Okay, I don't deal with that nigger. I ain't got no interest in that nigger. He's a bum. Okay. I found out all the names of my siblings because one of my siblings died, and I somehow found it online, and I saw all our names in the obituary. If that ain't ghetto, if that ain't the ghetto, okay. And let me tell you, this is very typical in Jamaica. This is very typical. My neighbor dad got my mom pregnant when she was 19. He was married with wife and kids, and he was in his 30s. Okay, this dirty, nasty, dirty dick carrying neighbor. Yeah, my mom, they weren't really together like that. He just, he was a bit of a roast. He was giving us some money. She was young. She was poor. Since then she has, she has learned the error of her ways. Okay, but yeah, not everyone's dad is a unicorn. I know that I don't want nothing to do with Dusties because all the men around me have not been unicorns. So Jesus put all these neighbors around me to teach me stay the hell away.
Either
Yeah,
way, no matter what we were
everyone
raised by,
has.
unicorns or not unicorns, we're
Yeah,
divested women. So
exactly.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
So
like
Yeah.
my dad and my uncle Eddie are the only 2 unicorns that I know. My stepbrother got 10 kids and don't take care of not now one of them. He don't take care. He would rather play daddy to somebody else's kids than pay for his own kids. This is why this man don't work, because they would garnish those checks. He is in his 30s and never had a job because they would take those checks. He has never paid for his child. Ever since the first child was born, my mom, who has the biggest heart, I swear my mom has the biggest heart I've ever seen. She is taking care of grandkids that technically are not hers. These are your step grandkids.
Oh
My
no.
mom,
Oh no.
Nope.
yes, when the first one was born,
Nope.
he had an outfit. He had a new outfit every time he came and see us, and he saw us nearly every single weekend. Now, the more kids he had, the less money she started spending, and now she only spends time with 3 instead of the rest of the 7 because he
I
had
think
far
that
too
is
many kids.
insane. Like because of how I was, brought up, my mom raised me to be a wife and do well and everything else. But she also raised me to be self-sufficient. My father raised me to be a woman and be independent. As in, my mom taught me how to be self-sufficient, do stuff for myself, be a good wife and all that great stuff. My dad was like, you don't need a boyfriend at all. You're never having one at all, especially if he's nope. If he and my dad was the one that told me if he don't make at least $70,000 after you get out of college, if he don't have his own place, don't have his own car, don't bring him to me because I don't want to see him. And I was like, oh, okay.
That was my dad exactly. Don't give a man no money. Don't give him no ride.
Nope.
Don't nothing him. Don't feed him. Don't breathe too hard near him. If he can't supply his own oxygen, don't talk to him.
Yeah, I made that mistake. I brought a Dusty to my mama's house. You couldn't tell me nothing about this man. I was all in love and everything. She looked at me like I lost my damn mind. She said, "Why the hell you bring him here?" She said, "I don't like him."
No, my mom
gotta go.
my mom, she does not. My mom told me at I think it was either 15 or 16. She told me she's been telling me this for years, but she told me directly at 15 or 16, if you ever get pregnant, I don't know where you're gonna go, but you can't stay here. I was like, huh? She said, if you ever have a child out of wedlock, I don't know where you're going to go, but you cannot stay here.
I know
She
that's
told
right.
us at 14, 15, like 14, 15, 16 years old. But I've known this my whole life because they didn't play that.
And I bet you didn't have a baby on it either, so it worked.
No, I did not. I didn't have sex until I was 19. And the
My
first man I
dad
had sex
doesn't like
with,
the fact that I date out. My parents don't like that I date out interracially.
oh, my parents don't care. They just don't. They knew I was gonna do it anyway.
The only parent that has an issue with this is my dad. Like, and he got his own reasons for that. He's very pro-black. He's one of those unicorns that think that if I look hard enough, I'ma find them. That's what he is. He thinks that I'm gonna find them if I just look a little hard enough. He literally said to me, I can support you interracially dating if you went through all your options with black men.
That's too much work. Fuck all that shit. Ain't nobody
That's a
Girl,
finna
you
lot of
do
gonna
all
be
of that.
55 by the time you get around to that. Oh
And
my
that's
goodness.
Right.
I don't like it when they try to manage
this is not
people's
gonna be at my
genitals.
wedding because this not happening.
Yeah,
Mind your business.
my dad was just telling me, he was just like,
Did it disconnect?
I'm
no,
still here. I don't know
it
what
muted.
happened.
It all like I think it all muted. Everything muted.
I told y'all StreamYards is a dusty. Y'all need to get on that Patreon because it's not like that over there. This shit here, it is bootleg. It's the projects. It is the literal. It is state funded project shit. I don't know why.
Not state funded.
I don't know what's wrong with StreamYards, but somebody got some issues over there. God damn it.
And then there are black women who feel stupid paying money for a book from Derek Jackson. Y'all gave this man money.
Oh, what the fuck does that have to say in a book? He's not Oprah. Who the fuck do you think he is?
Girl,
he doesn't have him half the stuff that he talks about.
I can't hear.
Doesn't make any sense.
He mainly focused on black women with kids. He mainly focused on those because black women rarely date out. We see it all the time. Black women rarely date out. Like when I get asked out by white dudes, they always say to me, "Oh well, I didn't know that black women dated out."
Oh yeah.
They tell me that it's like a recurring theme that keeps going on. They always say, "Oh well, I didn't know that I could actually date a black woman." Because like even the dudes on TikTok who make their preference for black women loud and clear, they get mad at these men talking about stop fetishizing us and trying to kick them off TikTok.
Oh my God, I hate that. I hate that. It's
Black
like
women don't understand their allies for nothing.
For real. They'll even say you're pandering to us. Why are you fetishizing us? You don't really like us. Pandering. But yet y'all following Derek Jackson.
Yeah, we have how many years? 50 years of music video, 20, 30 years of music videos fetishizing big black asses and all kinds of stuff. They need to quit.
I'm telling you, the
second a white boy says that they like it, now's the problem.
They're used to abuse. They love abuse. It's, like you said, Stockholm syndrome. A lot of black women have become accustomed to being abused.
Exactly.
Sir MacLeod has a literal song, I Like Big Butts. Come on, really? Who's been fetishizing who for how long? Black men have made billions of dollars off the backs of black women's behinds in their music and our image over the years. So they need to shut the hell up.
But how dare a white man say that he finds one of us attractive? I mean, they have video essays and think pieces about how black women are, these men are clout chasing when they say, they're interested in you. Girl, take the compliment and sit your ass down, will you?
They can't take the compliment though, because it's not coming from a black man.
Y'all remember what they did?
I say you look like a roach. Can you shut up?
Like, of course, there's like a roach. They fetishize you thank the black man for that, because he spread your ass open on the internet, on music videos. So I'm sorry if a white man or non-black man is fetishizing you, because your black man gave you a platform to do so. Hey, blame black men for that thing.
Yeah, like, do y'all remember what they did to Issa Rae? Issa Rae, I don't know if it was a joke or it was just the point she was trying to make when she was like, people, basically black women were on the bottom of the dating totem pole, and so are Asian men, because they try to emasculate Asian men. They try to make them seem more feminine, try to say their dicks are little and stuff like that. And so this is why she was like, maybe we should all get together. I don't know if it was a joke or she was trying to make a serious point or not, because it was in an old book.
She's with a naked now, so it must have been a joke.
And that's because they jumped on her neck, girl.
If you guys have been following Issa for years, with her whole when she came out with her Black Girl series or whatever, Awkward Black Girl, she had a white male actor. She had a white love interest. That was one of the reasons why a lot of us swirlers, when we used to watch Awkward Black Girl, we were excited about that. We were looking forward to her putting white men and using white men, putting her white men in her new shows and everything. And I was disappointed. Sorry, I was like, wait a second. What happened to the whole dating out spiel? But I think Issa got shook by the black community, so she's been black dick pandering, with all her latest things.
That's why.
But so instead, she made the main actor a guy who's married to a white woman in real life, which isn't that interesting? What black women do? They center men who, in real life, don't have anything to do with them, because they're scared that if they don't center black men in their art and in their work, that black women will take away their support. Whereas black men have no fear of that. Like, literally, if you think about music, there's not one music video you can think of, apart from Keke Palmer, that she just did a video recently with this white guy in it, and they were literally roasting her for it. But literally all the black women have black men in their music videos, and all the black men have everything but black women in their music videos. It's actually a joke how much abuse we love to take.
Exactly. And then I don't know if y'all heard about that trans woman, Sasha, who getting on the internet calling us black bitches all day.
That big face nigga need to shut up.
I laughed at the whole video. I said, you love being a little dirty secret, don't you? You love being somebody who can't be taken out in public.
One? Is that the Jamaican trans?
Yes.
Let me tell you on behalf of all Jamaican people, okay? That illiterate gutter monkey, okay, does not represent us, and we give it back over to wherever it came from. Sorry about that.
Girl, I was laughing at that video. I'm like, y'all really want to fight us over black men? You really want to fight us over black? Bitch, fuck you. And the horse you came in on, I don't care. I don't want him. I don't want him at all. He gonna talk about some, Jimmy, the kind of women that Jimmy has in his videos aren't really black women. There aren't real. So the fuck what?
I can't take anyone serious who doesn't understand their plurals. 1 minute it's plural, it's singular. Men's, man's, men. Like, I can't. You gotta. The illiteracy just was jumping out at the screen, and I can't be listening to stuff like that.
Exactly. So I had commented under the video. I had commented under Yanni's video, because she had did a reaction to it. And my thing about it is, this same thing that black men who aren't going to transition, this is exactly what they say. Don't nobody want you. White men don't want you. I said, where in this magical world white men don't want me? They won't leave me the fuck alone. Ever since I started divesting, I don't run out of white men to talk to. So what are you talking about?
Exactly.
They don't want me.
Me neither.
It's fantastic to keep you in their little bubble so they can use you when Becky and MacLeod kick them out for not paying the rent, so they have some black pussy on the side. That's what it all is about. Look, what men do to other men to stop you from sleeping, to having access to their women, they lie. They say, they pussy stank. They're single mothers. They do this. They bald headed. That is a defense mechanism to stop other men from taking you away from them, because they know as soon as black women open up their options as a whole, it's fucking over. They're not going to have as many couches to sleep on, many beds to sleep in. It's going to be over. You
And
know, because
they don't.
they know other men have way, way more resources than they ever have because
I'll
they
say
stole
this.
that shit away and then they gave up their women, and it is what it is.
It's only working because black women, feed into that. Like, period. If it really was up to like white men would just, and black women were open, every black woman would have a white boyfriend, a Latin boyfriend, an Asian boyfriend. Just being honest, because I know more Latin men. A lot of Latin men like black women as well. So if you're like, oh my god, I don't want to date a white guy, oppressor, you can date a Latin man. Go ahead, he black enough for you.
like Yanni did with her Hinge, where she was just scrolling up, up, up. And me and any of my black girlfriends can scroll through our Hinge and show you we have no issue getting the attention of white men. Not one issue in the world. So I mean, I can't run out of white men to deal with. And so when I'm done with the white men, which I could never run out of, then maybe I would have some time for a neighbor. And that's unlikely. Okay. Listen, it's very unlikely. So
I have more ability to date white men than I do black men in general. Just like more white men come up to me. I literally was walking through Best Buy and I had a white guy hit on me. He was like, "Oh yeah, can I take you out on a date?" Oh, sure. Okay. In Best Buy. I go to a HBCU, not near one of these men like talk to me, look my way, blah blah blah. But I'm the epitome of what men say. I want them to be submissive, natural hair, not all that makeup, blah blah blah. All of that. They say all of that, and I'm just that by nature. How I just grew up and how I am, and yet I get nothing.
Can I tell you something? As a black woman who's natural as well, and many of my friends are, actually that's a deterrent. They tell you that's what they want, but they're very aware that a lot of the women who date out look like us.
Yep.
We are literally like a shining neon sign saying, "Don't deal with us. We have self-esteem. We love ourselves. We accept ourselves, and we likely don't date black men." I'm telling you.
That
true. That goes back to the Derek Jackson situation. He cheated on his natural wife with somebody that wasn't natural, that had a head full of weed.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what they do.
But y'all ain't gonna be up here too much longer. This was supposed to be 30 minutes, believe it or not.
But non-black men are starting to get bold. Like I'm just going off of my experience, not even being divested for 2 years, and they are getting bold.
I'm gonna tell all these white European men that I know to come down here, or I'm not down here, fly to America and teach these non-black men how to approach black women. It is not an issue anywhere else in the world except for America. I'm telling you, America is just very, very late and slow. These white men are not scared at all.
Girl, yes, they are scared. They're so nervous.
In America, yes, they're scared.
No, they're
but
scared
they're
all
not
the time.
scared outside of the U.S. I swear to God, y'all, they are not scared outside of the U.S. I've been traveling
so
3 years in a row.
They're
These
so
niggas
nervous.
won't
They're
leave me
like, "You talk
alone."
to white men?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, I didn't know that."
Yeah, white men in the U.S. are very afraid to date black women, and the main reason why is because of the backlash that white men usually, from hearsay, usually get. Like I've seen it before, where a white guy will go to a black woman and say, "Oh, like you're cute or whatever," and she'd catch an attitude with him. And like I hear a lot of white men say that I don't talk to black women because they have an attitude problem.
That's
and
that
I was
mammy
like,
shit.
wow.
That's that mammy shit.
I'm
I don't
telling
know, you guys were talking about like families and things like that. I don't know if this is because I'm in Europe, but personally, I've never dated a white man whose family had an issue with black people. I don't really I like being a part of people's families, and I date white men who are very in contact with their families, and like a Harry, my white man will leave all that shit. He will delete all that shit if you step to me incorrect, okay?
No.
Let me jump off of here, y'all. Listen, Danae, I know you're gonna Google your name. You are a dumb fuck. I just wanted you to know that. Okay? We were rooting for you, and you fucked up, girl. Miss Jackson, if you nasty. Thank y'all for stopping by.
Y'all have a
Thank
good night.
you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I always like to leave last. Yeah, now.
What's going on, Mike Alter? This request goes out to Bonnie. This might be so that bus is one out for you. Bonnie, here you go. Cinnamon show. The DJ. That's what don't mean a thing. Don't mean a thing. That's the boys of the change. I don't like no mess. The only nasty thing I like is nasty. Nasty, nasty boys don't mean a thing. Nasty boys don't mean a thing. Nasty, nasty boys don't mean a thing. Nasty boys don't ever change. Right and approve. I just want some second to go. If you want me to respond, see in the name, my last name is Control. No, my first name, baby, it's Ernie. Miss Halter if you're nasty. Nasty. Long day. Oh, nasty boys don't need a day. Nasty. Boy, don't change. Yeah, yeah.